Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you guys are here. I've already unboxed this knife. I just put it back in the pouch so we could look at it. I didn't know if there was a sticker, and there kind of is. A little Vosteed warranty card there, a little Vosteed cloth, a little Vosteed bag for a knife that's all under 50 bucks, right? So before I get started and jump into this review of a knife that I'm really stoked about and stoked to share with you guys, I do want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to the channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you to anyone who finds their way in here to check out my knife, my EDC content. I appreciate you. It means the world to me. If you're so inclined and you have a second, if you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, really help me out. So today we have got a little new offering, new mini from Vosteed, and it is the Vosteed Raccoon Cub. So the Raccoon's a knife I had early on in the game, the first button lock from Lefty EDC. He sent me one to check out, a really cool one. I love that knife. It ended up going away in a Friday Night Flicks. And then they came out with the bar lock. They called it a cleaver, but it was kind of a Warncliffy blade. So I picked up one of those from White Mountain Knives. Really enjoyed it because I wanted to try that actuation method. And it was given away on a Friday Night Flicks. And then Vosteed sent me a white G10 button lock with kind of a little bit of revision in the button lock. My original had no issues at all, the one that I had from Lefty, but there were some that did. And it was just an updated version, we'll call it, or a V2, and really was great. I did a short review of it, didn't want to beat a dead horse, and ended up giving it away. Well, this little guy came out, and I was immediately interested in checking it out. I've checked out the Pyrite Mini by CJRB. You guys know I love my baby banter. I use it for size comparisons. Just recently did my second review on a Vosteed Nightshade Mini. And I like a fifth pocket carry knife. I think that they're very efficient. They're very effective depending on how they're built. And with all the offerings I've tried from Vosteed, from the Mini Corgi through the Mini Nightshade, through this little Raccoon Cub or Raccoon Mini, if you will, they're done very, very well. This one's a liner lock, and it's got a really thunderous detent. I can get the reverse flick. I've got to have my finger positioned just right because it does have a strong detent. So there'll be times when I'll go for the reverse flick and I will just hit a wall because I don't have my finger in the right place. But if I get my finger in the right place and push out and up, it just fires. Has great thumb stud action, a very light, thin little package. The Raccoon had, in my opinion, has a very thin, great, flat ground blade. This one is no different. It's just a little smaller. This one's in 14C28N. You'll notice your plunge grind back here comes to about right where my thumbnail is, which gives you plenty of sharpening. And this is a full finger choil, which I think works very, very well. You've got jimping on the butt of the knife here, butt of the blade, and also up towards the crown or where your belly's going to be, depending on where you need to get your traction. So I think it works very, very well. It's got a reversible deep carry clip that does have a recessed area, does have recessed screws. One thing that I noticed about this knife that I really like is it's got very little branding, right? So I don't have any branding on my clip. From the outside of the knife, I really don't see anything. It is a front flipper. It does have Vosteed at the base of the blade there, right under the plunge grind. And then it has 14C28N, which is the blade steel, on the other side. And then a blue thumb stud. This is available in several different colors. Vosteed sent this one out for me to check out. And this is the black G10 with the black blade. And it's probably the color configuration I would have chosen because lately I've kind of been going for the midnight, nightmare, whatever you want to call them, blackout looks. But where this knife really shines as a utility knife, as a fifth pocket carry knife, or even as a primary office carry knife, is it is a fantastic cutter. Again, I have not been cutting a lot of wood with it. I've been cutting boxes. I've been opening boxes. I've been cutting paper. I don't know why I'm failing so miserably at it. That's not the knife. That's actually me. Because this knife is very sharp. I don't know if it's my paper's damp. But I did struggle with it, didn't I? I might have gotten a little spot there on the... Boy, let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me grab my little box tester. This is just a night core box. This is a pretty thick cardboard. I don't know if you call it double walled or triple walled or what, but very thick, but it cuts very well. Might need to be stropped up. It's got a pokey tip. It's got very solid lockup. I've spine whacked it during the unboxing, and again, I promised I'd get away from spine whacking, because spine whacking should be for fixed blades only, in my opinion. But again, that's just me going off on a little mini rant. But the Vosteed Raccoon Cub, I think, and I want to say I'll leave a link, one of my affiliate links to Vosteed's website where you can pick this up, because it did just go on sale. And I want to say it's like 46 bucks. It is a great little knife. Let's do some size comparisons. I'm going to have OCD here for a second though, because I've got tape residue. I'm going to take a look at my KPL blade cleaner and rub it on my tape residue so I can not sit there and just stare at it. Much better. That KPL blade cleaner works really well. So anyways, neither here nor there. KPL, I'll put a link to that. But anyways, this little guy does have a lanyard hole. So if you wanted to have a small lanyard, it's positioned in a perfect place. You've got this little pinky area back here if you had a bigger or meatier hand that I think would really accommodate your hand. For me, if I wanted to hold it behind the choil, which I never would, maybe if I was saving a Slurpee, but I still don't think I'd want to hold it that far back because I wouldn't want to get it stuck in anything. I just think it's a fantastic little ergonomic package. And again, if you had a meatier finger, it might force it back. But I do think this little hump here is insignificant enough to where it's not going to make even a different size, a larger fingered hand feel uncomfortable. Again, it's more of a fifth pocket carry knife, a smaller knife, but it works very well. I'll do a couple of real quick size comparisons. Look at it next to our Civivi Baby Banter. And it is, whoops, a little bit larger than the Baby Banter. And then we'll look at it next to our Benchmade Mini Bug Out. Much shorter than our Mini Bug Out. And while we've got it out, let's look at it next to the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. It's a good bit smaller than that. The Mini Nightshade, I've noticed, like some of my Benchmade Mini Ergonomics, is more of a medium-sized mini, whereas these are both the Civivi Baby Banter and the Vosteed are much more mini. So these knives are similar, but they're by no means copies. The blades are in the Vosteed is going to be much thinner. The thumb studs position is going to be further back. You've got different jimping. You've got an altogether different shaped blade. The handles are shaped differently. But both do what small knives do well, which for me is give you good ergonomics and a lot of purchase. You might have a little bit more cutting area on the Baby Banter, but we can get that measured out here. Let's see what we got. So this is going to come in, I'm going to call it right about 5.5 inches with a, we're going to call it right over 2.25, between 2.25 and 2.5 inch blade with a 2-inch cutting area. I've got this guy on washers. And this is also a 2-inch cutting area, maybe a little bit smaller. Let's see. This is right under a 2-inch cutting area. So they're similar size knives, but the handle on this guy, and it is on bearings, is going to come in at 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 from right here to right here. That inside dimension, which really won't matter to anybody, but just so you know, it's going to be right at 3 1/8. So from here to here, inside dimension, I guess you'd call it, is 3 1/8. And what's really neat about this little blade is it is very thin blade stock. So it starts off thin, and then it gets really thin behind the edge. So it is going to be 0.0965 thickness. That's the blade stock. And if I come down here behind the edge, 0.0110. So super, super thin. 0.190. I might be getting at different areas on my bevel. But this is the Vosteed Raccoon Cub. I consider it multi-deployment. You got your thumb studs, you've got your reverse finger flick, and you've got a really well done top flipper. They could have given it a couple more jimps here. I don't know. That would be one way to, even make it better. Again, if they were going to do a V2, I would just urge to take this jimping up and around. Just turn this corner here because it does give you more areas where I just slipped off there. Even though the way it's set up, you just have to push it right here in the front. So it's not that far from being perfect, but it's just a way that I think they could make it a little bit better. Add a couple of more jimps. You'll notice you've got jimping here in the finger choil, which I think is really nice. You've got really good access to this lock bar. So you've got nice pass through here, and then you've got jimping on top, so it's really easy to catch it. Perfectly centered. Again, reversible clip, snappy detent, quality materials, all under 50 bucks. I think it's a win. I think we're also going to find out that it is not a heavy little knife. So we said it was a 2-inch cutting area, right? I think we said it was. Our overall blade we figured was right over 2 1/4. So that means she's going to weigh exactly 2 ounces. So our cutting area is 2 inches. Weight's 2 ounces. So if we were going to say an inch per ounce, that's going to be perfect in terms of whoever said that's the way it should be. You got just a single standoff. Really strong stop pin back here, and just a neat little package. The Vosteed Raccoon Cub, I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of the Raccoon. I think this is a great little knife. I will link to Vosteed's new arrival so y'all can look at all the different ones there. It'll be an affiliate link, or you can just search it. But guys, I appreciate you. Here comes Tippy. I apologize in advance. All I ask is please look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for that guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts. If you got a chance and you hadn't yet, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification icon. Guys, please choose debate, not hate. I love y'all. Peace.